Welcome to Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And this is my top 10 small forwards list in the NBA. I made shorts about power forwards and centers. So now for small forwards, I'm gonna do a video for shooting guards and point guards. Not sure, but maybe I'll do a video and then once I do my top 10 players overall, I'll do a live for that. But the criteria we're looking at, uh, criteria is laid out the same way for every position. I always take the last 3 years of what they did because I feel like it's the most accurate and provides the best and most up-to-date information in my opinion, and it allows me to make the best analysis using those 3 years. Playmaking, I think playmaking is one of the more important things for the small forward as it has become. As the small forward, it's more the primary ball handler other than the shooting guard because the shooting guard has a more specific role of shooting, obviously off the catch and shoot or stuff like that. So I think playmaking is more important for small forwards than shooting guards. Versatility, I think it's important to be versatile, really, especially for the small forward position. Being able to switch positions, being able to guard multiple positions. Playoff progression, that's always going to matter. That's always going in each position, no matter what. Any basketball ranking, playoff progression is going to matter. And if you don't have playoff runs to show for it, then that just sucks. And then perimeter defense, that's also important. Obviously, interior matters more for big men, the power forwards and centers. So then once we get to the small forwards, shooting guards, point guards, that's where perimeter defense starts to matter more. And to start the list off, going from 10 to 1, or actually I'm going to start with my honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, I'm going to say MPJ. The reason he didn't make this list because I feel like he's too inconsistent, especially going from the regular season to the playoffs. This past playoffs, he was playing through an injury. Or at least that's what was reported. He might have, but that's a dumb decision. If you're injured, then you shouldn't be playing. That's just how I look at it. And he had a very disappointing playoff run, but I feel like he has been inconsistent and has hurt Denver in games, in playoff situations, in very crucial games. And I don't think I could put him above. In my opinion, he can't go above anybody else that I have on this list. And then Jalen Johnson is my other honorable mention because he's very talented. I think he has a lot of potential, but he just hasn't had the games played. And games played will matter for certain people because the person that I have at 10, this person I wish was higher, but this person at 10 doesn't have the games played. They played 45 games, 64 games, and 18 games in the last 3 seasons. And at number 10, I had Brandon Ingram, who I'm talking about, in the last 3 years, putting up 22 points per game, 5.7 assists, improving his playmaking, 5.3 rebounds per game on 48, 37, 84 splits. Was swept in the 2024 playoffs by OKC. Was very disappointing, and maybe the pressure got to him, especially with Zion not being there. But Brandon Ingram, with him not being available, and then how he collapsed against OKC in that series, I can't put him any higher. Like, he has improved his playmaking, like getting up to 5.7 assists. That's still impressive, especially when he's playing next to a Zion, I think DeJounte got hurt early on in the season. But that's going to be very crucial playing with DeJounte, hopefully having them for a full season. Obviously, none of that's guaranteed, but him being able to make like that with limited options, I feel, and he only played 18 games, but 18, 45, 64, 18 each season. So I think that's impressive that he's been able to do that while playing next to Zion. So I think that's going to be crucial for the Pelicans, especially going into next season. At number 9, I got Andrew Wiggins. The bottom half of this list was really difficult to make. Like, after I got done with 5, I would say, it was after 5, this list became very difficult. But at 9, I got Andrew Wiggins. I feel like his defense has still been solid, and I think I'm pretty sure he got more games played than than Ingram. And then he has had a playoff run. He had a decent run 2 years ago with the Warriors after they won the chip. But then the run with the Heat, he only put up 11.5 points per game, which was very disappointing to see from him. And he hasn't been an All-Star since 2022 and declined from 2023 to 2024. The only thing that's saving him to put him above Ingram is more games played. But I feel like they're kind of in the same boat because while Ingram doesn't have the games played, Wiggins hasn't shown us the 2022 version of him when he was an All-Star. Playing the best defense of his career. He hasn't shown us that. So I had to put Wiggins at 9. At number 8, I got DeMar DeRozan. In the last 3 years, made one All-Star team. Is playing 36.7 minutes per game, which is a lot especially from a guy that shoots so many mid-range shots. Like, I had to give DeMar credit. He's probably, I'm not gonna say it's the best, but he's definitely one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA today, putting up 5 assists per game. But he doesn't have any playoff runs, and without playoff runs, these last 3 years, it's hard for me to rank him any higher. Like, obviously, he's got playoff runs from 7 years ago, but I'm only taking the last 3. So with them not having any playoff runs, with him being going from Chicago to Sacramento, it's just, obviously it's hard, but that's the highest I could put DeMar. And also, he isn't that good of a defender, so, and it requires a lot from him. And the teams that he's been with, I wouldn't expect him to be that great of a defender, but it should be at least a little bit better. And DeMar, he isn't as versatile as the players I have above him. Like, I don't think I can put DeMar in a situation where he's playing power forward and it's gonna work and it's gonna be successful. I just don't see a world where that happens. Or if I place him at shooting guard, he doesn't take a lot of threes, so I don't see how that would benefit. I think DeMar can only play the small forward. At number 7, I have Mikal Bridges. This is a guy who not too long ago played 83 games in a season. He got traded and played the next day. 83 games, 82 games, 82 games. That's what he's did the last 3 seasons. Put up 19, 4-4 on 46, 37, 85 splits the last 3 regular seasons. Mikal Bridges is great. The thing that shocks me is that he doesn't have any all-defensive teams. The fact that he doesn't have at least one all-defensive team in these last 3 years is kind of wild to me. But it's like everybody can't make it. It's only 2 teams. Only 10 players get picked. And he, in his last 2 playoff runs, put up 17, 4-3, which is still for his role with what he's doing with the Knicks. That's still, well, that's with the Knicks and the Nets, I think, in his last 2 playoffs. Yeah. So he still did a little bit of something. But and then Mikal, I feel like he can play a small forward and power forward. His defense is very good, but him not making an all-defensive team in the last 3 years is very shocking to me. That's really surprising. But I think the people that I do have above him, I don't think I could put him above those people. I think he got an argument to be 6, but I don't think he has an argument for the top 5. At number 6, I have Amen Thompson, who at first, when I was making this list, I was like, should I put him here after just 2 years in the NBA? But then 2024 all-rookie team, 2025 all-defensive team. This was the guy that I said should be second in the DPOY race. In his 2 years in the NBA, he's averaging 12.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals, and a block per game. He's doing it all on both ends of the ball. His points went up this past season. He's shooting on 55, 22, 68 splits. Obviously, you would hope that will get better throughout his career, which I think it will. But then in his first ever playoff series versus the Warriors, put up 15.7 points per game, 1.7 steals, 3.3 assists, 6.9 rebounds. And he brought so much offensively and defensively, not just throughout the season, but in that series as well. And I gave Alperen Sengun his credit for this as well. But stepping up to that bright light and being ready for the moment against the Warriors, although you didn't win, you pushed the greatest team of the last decade to 7 games. Not anybody can do that. That Kings team was able to do it with when they were the 3 seed. Credit to Mike Brown for doing that. But this Rockets team, a lot of people counted them out, even despite them having home court. And yes, they did go down 3-1, but they pushed that. Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun, they're the ones that led that, and Fred VanVleet as well, his veteran experience. They helped tie that series 3-3 and force a game 7. They might have lost, but they looked strong throughout that series, and you can't take that away from them. And I like what Amen Thompson has brought. And I think if Amen Thompson does what he did this year to a little bit of a better extent and improves his 3-point percentage, if he improves his 3-point percentage and free throw percentage, it's wraps for the league. Because I think playing next to Kevin Durant is going to help him tremendously. But yeah, he's already one of the best defenders in the league in just his 2nd year. I know we like to credit Wemby for him being one of the top defenders. We got to give that same credit to Amen Thompson as well. At number 5, I got Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has failed. No All-Stars in the last 3 years. Did make an All-NBA team, which that's great. But his points per game has went down. His 3-point shooting has been inconsistent. He wasn't in the playoffs in 2024, and that might have been due to an injury. I can't confirm. I think that was due to an injury. But then when Steph went down this past playoffs, Jimmy was nowhere to be found. When they needed him most, he wasn't able to step up versus the Timberwolves. Yeah. So Jimmy has fallen down. And the guy that I have above Jimmy is Franz Wagner, who Franz Wagner I can confidently say is a better basketball player than Jimmy Butler in 2025. His points per game has went up each of the last 3 years and he's only been in the league 4 years now, going from 18.6 to 19.7 to 24.2 points per game. And if he didn't get injured, he probably would have been an all-star this past year. Obviously that's hypothetical, but even his assists from 3.5 to 3.7 to 4.7. So him being able to improve his playmaking, playing alongside Paolo, who's also doing the same thing, I feel like they're a great dynamic duo. 47, 31, 85 splits. If the three-point percentage, if that can get up to 34, then I think that's going to be great for Orlando. If we can just get that up to 34, I think Orlando will be fine. Then his first playoff series, it wasn't great, and he didn't help Paolo at all. But then his second one, he bounced back, he stepped up, and he did what he could to help Paolo. Obviously going against a strong Celtics team with no Jalen Suggs, chances were little, but Franz Wagner and Paolo did their thing and already gave Paolo his credit. I'm going to give Franz his credit as well because he's seen how he performed in the last playoffs and he knew that he couldn't do that again if they wanted a chance to win. And obviously they didn't win, but he at least gave them a chance. They got one game, and some people expected them to be, expected they would have been swept by the Celtics. So credit to Franz Wagner. I do think he surpassed Jimmy Butler, and I don't think that's a hot take. At number 3, I got Jaylen Brown. Last 3 years, been a 3-time All-Star, made one All-NBA team. Did win Finals MVP, but respectfully, I think Tatum should have won that Finals MVP. Tatum was the better player in that Finals. But in the last 3 years, put up 24 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.2 steals per game. He's been doing his thing offensively and defensively. I think Tatum is clearly the better defender, but Brown's defense isn't bad either. I feel Brown is definitely a solid defender. You can even make the case that he's a good defender. But 48, 33, 74 splits. Obviously, you want the three-point percentage to probably go up to about 35 and the free throws to go up a little bit. But aside from that, been in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Finals in the last 3 postseasons, putting up 23 points, 3.5 rebounds, 6.1 rebounds on 49, 33, 69 splits. Like, you don't want to see that in your last 3 playoffs. Your free throw percentage going down by 5%. That's not something that you want to see. But Jaylen Brown is doing his thing, but I don't think he should have won Finals MVP over Tatum. And I do think if, as much as people criticize LeBron for being of a low-average free throw shooter, you have to do the same to Jaylen Brown. If his free throw percentage went down 5% in the last 3 playoffs compared to his regular season, and y'all are trying to call him better than Jason Tatum. At number 2, I got Kawhi. And the only reason why Kawhi isn't number 1 is because of the games played. If he played more games than he's played these last few years, he would probably be number 1. But despite playing a limited games in the last 3 years, he's put up 23 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.5 steals on 51, 41, 86 splits. And I'm pretty sure he's taking like 4 threes a game. So he's shooting very well from the three-point line. Shooting really just efficient everywhere. Made the playoffs each of the last 3 years, but he only played 2 games in back-to-back, 4 games total, but it was back-to-back years where he only played 2 games. Like I said, the only thing stopping Kawhi from being 1 is the lack of games played, especially come playoff time. He was healthy this past playoffs and pushed the Nuggets to 7, who pushed OKC to 7. But I think the games played definitely matters here, but he's still great on both ends of the ball, which is why I can put him above the Jaylen Browns, the Franz Wagners, because he's so much better defensively than both of them. But then at 1, I'm going to go with LeBron. 3 All-Stars, 3 All-NBA teams, played 70 games in back-to-back years, averaging 35.2 minutes per game on 51, 36, 76 splits. Still shooting well from the 3 in his Lakers tenure, probably some of the best 3-point shooting percentages of his career, aside from when he was with the Heat. 26 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, and in the last 3 playoffs, Western Conference Finals appearance, yes, he was. The Lakers were split, but he did lead them to the Western Conference Finals, so you can't deny that. And then he even led in steals per game and assists per game in 1 playoffs, and that was in 2024. And I think I read, 26 points per game, that was the regular season that I was reading off, but in the playoffs, 25 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 6.8 assists, and 9.1 rebounds per game. So yeah, I still got LeBron at number one. That's the best small forward in the league. Those are my top 10 small forwards in the NBA. Leave a like on the videos, subscribe to the channel, and comment what y'all thought. Comment what y'all top 10 small forwards in the NBA would be.